Okay, so I'll try to quickly kind of go through my diagnostic procedure, and what I ultimately found was the problem with the vibration mode on our roller. First things first with electrical, you always go right to the fuses. So behind the steering column, there's a fuse panel. Check the fuses, they all checked out fine. Next thing I did was I wanted to see if I had power to the button. So I checked for voltage, and I did have 12 volts at the button. So you know the button's okay. Okay, since the button checked out fine, that was kind of disappointing. I was hoping it would be a button that's obviously a quick and easy fix, but it wasn't, so I knew I had a bigger problem. I have limited access to schematics with this roller. I have the owner's manual and the parts manual, but they don't provide much help there. So I did call Knickerbocker Russell, see if they could give me any type of advice. They're the local sales and service where we bought this Bomag roller from. Obviously, you can't really do much diagnosis over the phone with electrical, so they weren't too helpful, but kind of what I expected. What the guy did give me some really great advice on is to check here to see, this is like a this is activated when 12, it's a magnet, and there's a valve that pulses, and he did tell me to check here, take a external battery, give it 12 volts, and if this valve is working, you'll hear it. So I did do that, verified that this valve in itself does work. So most likely it's just not getting the voltage to it. So I knew I had to start here, because when I hook up 12 volt battery source to it, it does move. You can hear that moving. So now that I had checked the relay and it's good, 12 volts here, this magnet is moving, time to start tracing the wires and chasing the problem. So I started here. You have to determine where these wires end up. So this shielded jacketed cable runs, you know, under here through the engine, through the steering box, and then it comes out right here. So this is the harness that goes here. So to determine what wires these are, you run resistance. So you put one of your leads in one prong, and then with this disconnected, you take your other test lead and you got to touch each prong, and hopefully you'll see some resistance, some very low resistance. When you see that resistance, you know that you're on the same circuit. Write it down, notate what pin it is here in the connector, and then move to the second pin. Same thing, one pin on the connector, the other pin you're just touching each one till you see a resistance. So with all the relays being, you know, showing that they're working properly, it's time to check for voltage. So unlike when you are checking continuity, things can be disconnected. When you do voltage, you have to have everything connected that you're testing, and you'd have to turn the key on. Power has to be supplied when you're checking voltage. So everything plugged back in. I started back here, which I probably shouldn't have, but nonetheless, you know, I did. Broke open the shielded wire and tested to see if I had 12 volts here. No voltage. So I followed that wire, and I cut it open here, did my voltage test, still no volts. So the next thing that I did was I started following the wires here, and they follow up through here to the relays, and I was doing my voltage test. So I know the relay itself works. When you give it power, you can hear it click. But what I found was I was getting 12 volts in, but I wasn't getting 12 volts out where I should have. So that was a big deal. That tells me that I'm losing my power somewhere on that circuit. So what I was able to do then is trace that wire back, goes all the way down through, and then this is the jacketed cable, goes under the water tank, up into the switch. So then that relay, the wire coming out that I was not seeing 12 volts, again, goes down through this jacket, under the water tank and seat, pops out here. It led me to this, which is some type of induction proximity sensor. And it was not sending the 12 volts to that relay, which would then send the power all the way out to here. And this has an orange light when it's working. On the one that I found was bad, the light obviously wasn't on. And then if you kind of move the wires a little bit in the connector, this would flash orange. So you could just move it a little bit here or there when it's plugged in and it would light up orange. When it lights up orange, obviously you would then hear the relay click on, click off. So that was my problem. So there you have it. It came down to just a break in the wire, bad connection. I did verify that it would work. I did a quick temp repair and fired it up, ran the vibrator, it works. Just a matter of doing a permanent repair now and buttoning everything back together, and this machine will be back to running as it's supposed to. Hope you learned something from the video. If there's anything I can do to help you, just reach out to me. I'll do what I can. I did learn quite a bit just from chasing all these wires, but thanks.